let's just jump right into this. In today's explainer, we're looking at what has to be one of the most ironic tech rescues in recent memory. Picture this. You own a smartwatch with an actual superpower. It literally never needs to be plugged in. It runs completely off your own body heat. Sounds totally sci-fi, right? Well, that was the MATRIX PowerWatch X. But there was a massive, fatal catch. This device, with its literally infinite physical power supply, was completely paralyzed, just totally bricked and rendered useless. Why? Because a cloud server died. Today, we're going to break down the digital heist that actually brought this hardware back from the dead. And honestly, this perfectly highlights the core contradiction here. On one hand, you've got this incredible CES award-winning hardware running on pure thermal electronic engineering. But on the other hand, you have the software. When Matrix Industries went under, their servers went offline with them. And because this watch was completely tethered to a cloud-based app just to do basic stuff like set the time, it got stuck. You had a flawless piece of physical engineering that instantly turned into a very expensive paperweight, all because of a software failure. Just look at it. It's kind of sad, really. A beautifully crafted piece of tech sitting on a desk, completely unresponsive for 2 years. All it gives you is this spinning circle and the word pairing. It's basically begging you to open an app that doesn't work anymore, to connect to servers that literally do not exist. Thousands of users were stuck in this exact same digital purgatory. But as we're about to see, this watch wasn't actually dead. So, how do you even start a rescue mission like this? Well, the first clue came from just listening. Using a standard Bluetooth scanner app, specifically NRF Connect, researchers noticed something huge. The watch was still transmitting. It was putting out a Bluetooth Low Energy, or BLE, signal. It was essentially screaming into the void, just waiting for a command. The hardware was wide awake. It just needed someone who could actually speak its language. But, how do you talk to a proprietary device when the company is gone and the source code has vanished? You need a map. And in this case, that map turned out to be some confidential legacy protocol documents from way back in 2018. Finding these was an absolute game changer. It was like finding the Rosetta Stone for the PowerWatch. These docs laid out the exact blueprint of the BLE protocol, exposing all the hidden commands needed to configure the watch locally. No dead cloud servers required. Let's get into the technical targets from that blueprint. To lockpick this thing, we really have to understand BLEUUIDs, Universal Unique Identifiers. You can just think of them as specific radio channels. We needed 2 critical ones to make this work. First, the write characteristic, which ends in 0013. That's our input channel, how we actually send commands into the watch. And second, the notify characteristic, ending in 0012. That's our output, how we listen to what the watch says back. So boom, our communication lines are officially open. Okay, lines are open. Now, what do we actually say? The documents outlined a very specific 3-step sequence to break the watch out of this pairing jail. First up, we have to feed it the current UTC time and the time zone. If it doesn't know what time it is, it absolutely refuses to move forward. Step 2, we have to force the watch to save those settings into its non-volatile memory. And then step 3, this is the magic bullet. We send a specific system command to kill that pairing screen and drop us right back onto the normal watch face. So it all comes down to getting the payloads exactly right. We're looking for 3 specific raw hexadecimal commands from the 84 command family. To set the time, we send 840107. Follow that up with the UTC time in Unix epoch seconds, and then add a 16-bit time zone offset. To save it, it's just a simple 8421. And to finally execute that pairing screen, we send 81050082. Now, sure, it looks like total gibberish to us, but to the watch, that is the exact sequence it needs to wake up. But here is where our heist runs right into a brick wall. The researchers took those exact text commands, punched them into the Bluetooth scanner, fired them off to the watch, and literally nothing happened. The watch completely ignored them. Why? Well, reading deeper into the technical notes, it turns out you can't just throw bare bytes at this thing. It rejected the raw commands because they just weren't packaged the right way. Look closely at this block of text here under the write characteristics section. The watch didn't just want those 3 commands, it demanded them with the exact, highly specific packet framing that the original official app used. Think of it like sending a letter. You can't just toss a loose piece of paper into a mailbox, right? It needs an envelope, an address, a stamp, the whole shebang. And this framing, it's honestly a whole ordeal. Just to get the watch to accept that simple save command, you have to wrap it inside a 24-byte header. Then you've got a base 64 encode that entire package. Next, you tack on an exclamation point at the start and a new line character at the end. And finally, because Bluetooth Low Energy has super strict size limits, you have to chop that entire encoded message up into 20-byte chunks and send them in sequence. Only then does the watch finally go, okay, I'll accept this. But man, the payoff of cracking that framing, just look at this. After 2 long years of being stuck on a frozen, totally useless screen, the correct time is back. The watch lives. This is the exact moment a dead MATRIX PowerWatch X was rescued. No cloud servers, no remote accounts, just direct, locally generated BLE commands. And honestly, the best part? Look at that green text lighting up at the bottom. Power generating. It is officially back to running on nothing but the user's body heat. Now, the researchers were very clear about what actually counts as a successful rescue. A prototype app just saying connected doesn't cut it. To really win here, the watch physically has to leave that pairing screen. It has to display the normal watch face, show the correct time, and this is absolutely crucial, it has to keep time completely on its own after you disconnect the app. It has to be a fully independent watch again, not just something propped up by a temporary hack. So figuring out this digital lockpick is one thing, but safely giving it to the public, that's another story entirely. The community knew they had to navigate some pretty tricky legal waters. You can't just pirate the old proprietary app and start handing it out. Instead, they use something called a clean room protocol. Let's take a quick look at why this is so essential for modern right-to-repair projects. Basically, a clean room rescue means building a new Android prototype entirely from scratch. You're using 100% original code, absolutely no stolen vendor assets, no reverse-engineered APKs. Plus, it's built with safety and privacy baked right in. It masks the user's MAC addresses and serial numbers, and it completely avoids any dangerous commands that might accidentally factory reset the watch or brick it into some low-power shipping mode. It is a strictly safe, above-board legal rescue tool. Which brings us to the grand finale, an open-source repository built to rescue roughly 1,000 PowerWatch X owners who probably just have this infinitely powered hardware sitting forgotten in a drawer somewhere. By releasing the full BLE protocol docs and this clean room Android utility, this project proves something amazing. Community research can literally revive dead hardware. No servers, no forced accounts, and zero permission needed from a company that doesn't even exist anymore. And all of this really leaves us with one major question. We live in a world where everything, from our watches to our washing machines to our cars, is tethered to a remote server. But as this PowerWatch X story so perfectly demonstrates, when the cloud evaporates, who truly owns the hardware on your wrist? Are you the owner, or are you just renting it until someone else decides to switch the server off? Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I really hope this makes you look a little closer at the tech you're relying on every day.